Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Thinkercyze. I am Yuris Garone, and joining me is Trevor and Yasser. There we go. And we will be interviewing Crystal Day, phenomenal
Hello.
architect that's local in the region. And yeah, and with this week's challenge, before we jump into it, this is actually very exciting because we are at number 7 of all our Thinkercyze challenges. So we just got to give ourselves a little applause there. And with that one, what better way than with a fun exercise that Crystal's going to be sharing with us. So Crystal, can you tell us a little bit about what your Thinkercyze challenge is for this week?
So my Thinkercyze challenge is make your own snow globe.
Ooh.
And I
Wow.
thought of this because I am doing different crafts with things that I have around the house. And this is something that I think that everybody could do. Also, as a child, I used to like building little models and playing with little things. I think it can really help develop your sense of scale as well. When I was looking at little different objects that I had around my house, I was seeing in different scales that things are at. For example, there's this little guy and he's 1 inch tall. So if he were 1 inch tall, 60 of him would be a 5 foot tall little guy. So he's a 1 to 60 scale. And as architects, we're always drawing things at these scales to be able to fit them on one sheet. So, we'll draw something at 1 to 60 scale for a site plan so you can fit the whole thing on one sheet, or build a full-size site model at this scale and fit it onto something that you can carry to a meeting. So I can show you how to make your own.
Yes,
Awesome.
that was going to be the second question. Show us how to make your own.
All right.
All right.
So can you see this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need is a jar. Find a good sized jar that you like in your house. If there's food in it, maybe just throw it out and don't tell anyone. Put it in a Tupperware, something. Find some little toys. I had a little plastic succulent, a little plastic fox. Plastic and ceramic toys work well. Some beads. Metals might rust, and wood, I don't know if it would do that well, so I recommend plastic or ceramic. Clear glue, if you have it, or some other type of adhesive. And then just tools and some glitter, or cut up little pieces of something that you want to use for your snow. And it doesn't have to be a Christmas themed snow globe.
Especially this time of year would be considered.
That was going to be
globe.
question number 3.
Go to the next. So these are some little toys that I had around the house. Then you unscrew the lid of your jar, and I put a piece of foam on it.
Okay.
You could also put like a wine cork or something, or if you don't have anything, that's okay as well. But you're going to use this as a base to glue your little objects onto. So here's the little people, and then I made this little scene for them.
That's a party here.
They're not socially distancing, but whatever.
Pre-COVID, right?
This one is a succulent. This is a full-scale sized succulent, plastic, not real. And then I made another one with the little fox and some little plastic birds.
That's cute.
Some little plants in there, and made a whole scene. So the point of this is to express your imagination, show off your personality, and think about all the little extra details that you can have to make your snow globe unique. And then while you're doing it, you're learning about problem solving techniques, like what kind of adhesives do you need? How much glue do you need? How can you structurally make this work without it falling apart once you make this? Also, I think I like doing things like this because it's time away from my screen, time away from my computer, and just helps me improve my concentration and developing my fine motor skills, putting little things together.
These are phenomenal. Wow.
So if you have clear glue or glycerin in your house, you could use this to change the viscosity of the water. So the viscosity is the thickness, and that could make the glitter swirl a little slower. This one's dripping. But you can play around. I don't really know how much you're supposed to use. I just played around with it until I thought it looked like it was a good thickness in there. If you don't have any of these things, that's okay as well. Then you screw your lid back onto your jar and then flip it over. And then you have something that's complete. And I think it's kind of visually stimulating. It might help relax you watching the glitter swirl in it. Here's the little people. And that's all. So I'm excited to see what people come up with. If you have little toys at your house, little dinosaurs or things that you can think of to put in a snow globe, want to see what you come up with.
Yeah.
And I assume lower viscosity is better than just water by itself. Does everything just fall really fast if it's too watery? Because I was going to ask about if there's a way to do it with live plants, like the underwater plants or whatever. I guess
that's a really cool idea.
Those terrariums, is that what they call them?
Yeah, terrarium, but all water.
Yeah.
Like a beta fish bowl sort of thing.
Well, you need a way to feed that beta, right?
Don't shake it.
Oh, and so I haven't secured my lids yet, but once you're happy with it, you can also glue the lid on, and you can paint the lid if you want as well to add something creative. I should probably glue mine because they're all kind of dripping. But yeah.
So not only does it help seal it, but it helps you kind of make a nice foundation. Nice.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I imagine those canning lids probably work the best because you can build off it without having to worry about the sides, and then you just, the screw part is separate.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Yasser, do you have questions?
Yeah. So, Crystal, tell us, how did you choose this challenge and why in particular?
I chose this because I thought it would be something fun to do away from your computer, and something that everyone has these objects in their house. Most people do anyways. Thought it would be fun. I like playing with little things. And as a kid, I always liked playing with doll houses or building little models or playing with little cars. And I was looking at the scales of all these little things. Barbies are a 1:6 scale, I found out. Doll houses are a 1:12 scale, and a small toy car is a 1:64 scale. So also when you're creating your own little environment, you can think about choosing things that are at similar scales for your world, or not. Maybe they can be different scales and create something really cool. As an architect, I'm always working in 3D and looking at things in scale, trying to help clients understand scale. Sometimes it's not that easy to show, so we'll create views in 3D to walk them through these spaces. Right now I'm working on Microsoft's corporate spaces for their new campus.
Cool.
Yeah.
We know we have some Microsoft viewers.
Oh, just a few, right? Oh, they're totally not helping us at all with this. No, wow, it's such a great explanation for it, because you took away all my questions. I was gonna be like, what are some great tips? But you've already hit them all.
Well, I was gonna ask one.
Go for it.
Well, I just wondered, I mean, you've sort of alluded to it, but so these little dioramas, you're into architecture as at a young age, or was it something else?
I think I always wanted to be an architect since I was a kid. I always liked building Legos and doing little things. Yeah, I think I always knew that I was going to do that.
So how did you find it after you became a one?
What's that?
How did you find architecture after you became an architect?
It's hard. It's challenging, but once you're in it, you have this love for it. You don't think you could do anything else. It's I always like thinking about the space that I'm in when I travel. I'm always looking at the space where I'm going, and it's always interesting to see the sense of scale of where you're at. and how that makes you feel. Because I usually do interior spaces, so thinking about that interior space and how that feels to you as a user.
Interesting.
All right. Well, this is exciting because I don't want to get out there and make myself my little terrarium snow globe environment.
Cool.
I put a couple little oversized cherries in there just to add some levity to it. How's the whole family gonna eat a big cherry? We'll see. But wow, yeah. So if you could leave us with any last words of wisdom, especially when it comes to either the snow globe or even just as a professional architect, what would you like to share? And it could be all up to you.
I mean, I think this is an activity that can help you explore the world around you. I'd challenge you to start looking at the buildings around you as you go and start learning about linear distance and getting that sense of like navigation through spaces as well. Think about your terrarium or whatever you're making in your snow globe, and how does that compare to the room you're in, and how does that compare to the world as a whole when you're thinking about scale.
Thank you so much.
There's some nice qualities of light through that snow globe as well.
Or just look at the refraction right there. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think the
now
glitter.
As I have the sun on me.
Yes, perfect. The glitter choice is also key, I think.
It is very important.
the snow. Yeah, I have lots of ideas for that.
Cool. Can't wait to
You're not gonna be able to
what
see
you
my
guys
scalars. Just a blizzard. Well, this is great, and this is actually hopefully a simple enough one that everybody can do at home. There aren't really any supplies here that are too hard to source. Do we have any other last questions before we go to the last one?
Sure. Crystal, as an architect, what advice do you have for young architects just starting in the field, or like advice for yourself when you just started?
So I'm also really involved with NOMA, the National Organization of Minority Architects, and the AIA Diversity Roundtable. And some of our goals are to try and bring underrepresented minorities into architecture. A lot of times minorities don't even know about this as a career option. So we're trying to open this up to more people and diversify our industry as well.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I totally have to agree with you there, Crystal, because I know like when I first started and I was looking at programs, I was like, what? Architecture is a thing? I can do that? People are going to pay me to make buildings? Like, oh, of course, yeah. You do this, you do that. Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be better if the industry reflected our panel even a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure.
The one white guy and then everybody else. I think my architecture program was pretty non-diverse, unfortunately. Even being in a small school, it was still pretty much a lot of white dudes. So yes.
Yeah, so we're trying to change that and open it up to more people.
That's amazing.
Now, Trevor, I know you got your favorite question ready to go.
Well, Yasser sort of hit it already. The advice you'd give to young people. I mean, I guess the formulation of it is that, what advice would you give to yourself at as a young architect or someone just looking at it? And that might be that person who was making snow globes and thinking about that, but sort of, I think you hit it a little bit already, but we'll ask it formally.
I think try not to lose your sense of imagination. I think as a kid, you always have this cool sense of imagination when you're building little worlds with all your toys. And as an adult, we tend to lose that, but try and find it again, even if it's just for this exercise.
So true. All right. With that being said, thank you so much, Crystal Day, for helping us with this week's Thinkercyze challenge and being our designer and architect of choice interview. Wow.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Crystal. Where
Absolutely.
can we,
Thank you.
Crystal? Where can we find more of your work online if anybody wants to seek you out?
Good plug.
You can email me at cday@nbbj.com. You could also look up nomanorthwest.org.
Those are great ones, and we'll have
And I'll
those.
put together instructions for how to do this.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Well, thank you again for joining us. Yasser, or Yuris, you want to give the outro? Tell everybody where they can find everything.
Oh,
Well,
Yasser, leave this one in your court.
Okay, so guys, you can always find us on Thinkercyze. You can join this Wednesday to participate in this challenge and create your snow globe. Thank you.
Thank you.